Hey folks, Real Honesty with John Ritlin. I'm John Ritlin, and Great Balls of Fire. Great Balls of Fire is the name of the July 9th pay-per-view that WWE is going to put on. Yes, I know it's a classic song and all that and everything, but how very dated of you, Vince. I mean, ridiculous. I mean, I don't know if Vince came up with it. I mean, Vince approved it, but I don't know who actually came up with it, but it's stupid. The amount of memes and the Paige sex tape scandal that just recently happened and all that stuff, that's what you're going to come up with as Great Balls of Fire? I'm not blaming Paige for it, I want to say that much. But with that and with the Tom Phillips Instagram scandal and Seth Rollins' thing of leaked pics back a couple years ago and other leaked stuff, maybe using balls and fire, maybe using, balls in any kind of pay-per-view name isn't the best idea. But this got me thinking. What are some of the worst pay-per-view names, and special event names ever in wrestling history? There's a lot of them. And here are some of them. And some of these aren't even necessarily worst in like the bad sense where, oh God, they're shit. Some of them are just silly. So here we go. AWA Wrestle Rock and Super Clash. I just always, anytime I hear them, I just kind of laugh because they just sound so silly and goofy. But, the events themselves weren't that bad. It's just the names. Capital Combat and WCW. I mean, the RoboCop thing. But Capital Combat, it's just it was just one of those where it was like they were trying to be different and it didn't work. Beach Blast, even though the two Beach Blast events in 92 and 93 were actually very good events, for the most part. Just Beach Blast was just silly because you had the beach setting and you had all that, and it was just goofy. I mean, then you had Bash at the Beach later, which had a beach setting, but Bash at the Beach had a little bit more of a little bit better sounding name to it. Beach Blast just sounded like some goofy, 80s, early 90s surfer thing. Hog Wild. Hog Wild was something where you're like, okay, I know it's taking place in Sturgis and hog, ride your hog, your motorcycle and whatever. But yeah, Hog Wild was really bad. Road Wild wasn't much better. Hog Wild was pretty bad. Battle Bowl. Because Battle Bowl just had this like rollerball type name to it that just seemed like it was a very cheesy deathmatch type sport. But then turned out to not even be that. Uncensored, mainly because WCW Uncensored almost sounded like it was going to be adult entertainment. And many of those events were barely entertained as it is. I actually did a 3-part series on the Uncensored pay-per-views. Check that out if you'd like. World War III, in part because, it was 3 rings and stuff like that, and I get that, but World War III, when stuff in the 90s was kind of at a height, like at least for part of the 90s, where it's like, okay, maybe we're really going to go to war here. Maybe we shouldn't call something World War III. Well, whatever. Maybe I'm nitpicking. WCW Sin and WCW Greed, because, okay, what were these? What were these here? I mean, at least with Super Brawl, other stuff, there were established names. Sin and Greed. Okay, we're going through the deadly sins here. Had WCW carried on, would they have gone through all the deadly sins? What was that? And plenty of WWE ones. My God, plenty of WWE ones. Tuesday in Texas, because it's just taking place on a Tuesday in Texas. Right. That was it. In Your House, Good Friends, Better Enemies. It was too wordy. I mean, the whole In Your House thing didn't really ever need much of a label to it. I mean, even the In Your House name itself was kind of ridiculous because, of course, you're watching these events in your house. Of course, you're watching the pay-per-views in your house or somebody's house. Why would you need to put that on there? But yeah, Good Friends, Better Enemies is just too lengthy. And then In Your House, Beware of Dog, not Beware of Doge. And they had to do a second one because of the whole power outage. In Your House, It's Time. It's time for what? I mean, you watch the event, the theme becomes clear. It's just, if you're just looking at the title, you're like, okay, that doesn't tell me anything. I guess I can watch it and find out. In Your House Final Four, because it's based off the NCAA Final Four and, the NCAA basketball tournament. The men's tournament, because unfortunately I forgot that the women's tournament even happened. In Your House 15, Cold Day in Hell. I don't know. It just, again, too wordy. Just too wordy. My opinion. Just too wordy. Ground Zero in your house, because those that had their houses bombed might not get a little bit upset about that. But if it was in your house, Ground Zero, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just, the point is, Ground Zero almost seemed like a little bit much, but whatever. They were in the Attitude Era at that point. Bad blood in your house. Yeah, I guess if you ever had a fight with a sibling or a fight with a parent, you would know about that. No Way Out of Texas in your house. What? Fully Loaded in your house, because again, it sounds like porn. I mean, it really does. In your Fully Loaded in your house, I'm like, wow, that's a little much. But you know, whatever. I mean, that one's kind of funny more than anything. WWE Taboo Tuesday and WWE Cyber Sunday, because Taboo Tuesday will sound like a cheesy, you know, Home Shopping Network line that, like, oh, we're gonna do these deals on Taboo. We're gonna call them Taboo Tuesday deals that we shouldn't do. And Cyber Sunday, again, porn or, you know, cyber sales like online. But at the time, this was, I think it was 06 to 08 that they did the Cyber Sunday pay-per-views. And that sounds a bit, I mean, yeah, online shopping happened, obviously, then, but yeah, Cyber Sunday almost sounded like porn. December to Dismember in ECW and WWE, but mostly in WWE because, yeah, that was just a doomed venture, and the name was stupid. WWE The Bash, because Great American Bash was just too much. No, Vince, we can't use a successful pay-per-view event. Let's call it The Bash. And it turned out to be okay. WWE Breaking Point. By 2009, some were reaching a breaking point with WWE. And just the name was silly. I mean, the pay-per-view event actually wasn't horrible. WWE Bragging Rights. Bragging rights for what? I mean, it was a brand supremacy thing, but the unfortunate thing is by the time they came out with this in 2009 and 2010, and I don't think they didn't have one in 2011. By the time they did this, the brand split didn't mean anything. But whatever. WWE Fatal 4-Way, because it was based around Fatal 4-Way matches. That was it. That was the only reason they did this stuff. It was pretty silly. WWE Capital Punishment, because like Capital Combat, it was just an unnecessary title. Fortunately, RoboCop did not show up at Capital Punishment. WWE Fastlane. I just hate the name Fastlane. It seems cheesy and seems ridiculous. WWE Roadblock and WWE Roadblock. End of the line. It's like, what is this a roadblock to? You're hitting a roadblock and then you just go on your merry way. And, of course, Great Balls of Fire, and then ECW WrestlePalooza, CyberSlam, Ultra Clash. Some of those were special events, and some of those were not pay-per-views, but yeah, they were just silly. Massacre on 34th Street was silly, and TNA Hardcore Justice. I just personally found that one silly. Here's why Great Balls of Fire, though, is a stupid name. Because it's proving that they're running out of ideas. That there's not, that it's like maybe they need to scale back on these, because I know they want to do the brand split, you want to do the exclusive stuff, but here's my idea. And I'll just finish this up really, really quickly. My idea would be, yes, it would still be a decent amount of pay-per-view events, but have 2 in December to lead into the Royal Rumble in January. Have 2 in February to lead into WrestleMania. Don't have any in March. And then you have maybe one more in April if you want, 1 in May, 1 in June, 2 in July to lead to SummerSlam, 1 in September, 2 in October to lead to Survivor Series, and then you start the whole thing over again. But you only have 2 pay-per-views in January, or no, not in January, but in December, in February, in April if you really want, if you want to have 1 in Mania, and then 1 at the very end of the month. And then you have 2 in July and 2 in October. And then you just have 1 every subsequent month. Yes, you need to scale back on this stuff because Great Balls of Fire is a really stupid name. I mean, it's a classic song or not, it's a really, really dumb name. Anyway, those are my lists. That's my list of various, worst, or silly pay-per-view names. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What are some of the ones that you just flat out laugh at every time you hear them? Like, share, comment, subscribe. Twitter link is in the description. Spend real honesty with John Ritlin. I'm John Ritlin, and I will see you soon.